Hi, Lisa. Thanks for opting into the video critique. I think your ad is off to a really good start. I like your colors. I especially like the typography here. It feels nice and clean. I think it might look better to have this one not be caps, all caps, to kind of balance, because you have a pretty assertive, both of these are pretty assertive fonts. And so it's feeling like the ad is kind of yelling, this tagline is yelling at you a bit. They're both competing. You have them in different places, but it's not really following that rule of hierarchy where having one really pop out and having another one then pop out 50% less and having the next line pop out 20% less or 80% less. These are both pretty visually aggressive type areas. So I think one of the things that you could do is perhaps this blue one, blue is already assertive enough against this white, maybe just have this, keep the W capitalized, obviously, but then when only the best, or when only and will do, you could have not be in caps to allow the best to stand out a bit more. If you did that, you could probably fit when only on one line and will do, and I would probably make this font size a little bit smaller as well. Also, your letting between the lines is, let's see, sometimes I'm not remembering right now. Letting is between the lines or in between the letters. I think kerning is in between the letters, but I could have them switched. But I feel like this is a little bit too much space between your lines. So you're going to want to go into your paragraph palette and you'll see an option, or it's actually your character palette. You'll see an option to reduce the amount of space between your lines. I think these need to be quite a bit closer together. So this really feels like a nice sentence you would read in a book as opposed to when only the best will do. Okay, so when only the best will do, and keep it a little bit tighter than it is right now. Watch your margins. These are a little bit too close to the edge of the page. You still want to maintain that 0.5 inch distance, and obviously that's for a page that's 8.5 by 11, but still it's going to give you a little bit if this is proportional to whatever size this ad is. Usually that's at least, I don't know, maybe from here, kind of where my cursor is, to the edge of the page. So I'd work on your type. This is looking better. See the amount of space between these lines? This is much more organic for reading than how spaced it out it is over here. Okay, make sure you have your call to action. I'm assuming this will qualify as your logo, but you want to have your tagline, 1 to 2 sentences of body copy, your logo, and your call to action all on the ad. So right now, I feel like you're maybe hitting 2 of those. So really look at those minimum requirements. Make sure you have each of those on your ad, okay? I think the flow of the ad is good. You have the broom up in the right-hand corner, your witch down here, which is nice. Keep on working on her scalp. I think you've taken a little bit too much of her hair away. See how it's kind of just fading into the background? You might need to go back in and select with a little bit harder of an edge. So that means you're going to have less feathering, or if you did the editing to it after you made your selection, you perhaps put too much of a amount of the pixels kind of smoothing around her head, because it definitely is a little bit too much of a feather into that background. We want her to be a little bit more there so it's not so apparent that she was photoshopped. All right, and maybe could work. You might have done some clone stamping around here. Just keep on working on this. I think this area, it looks like maybe there is something in the background you got rid of. And see how your edges here are so blurry and kind of fuzzy. Just keep on working on that. Try to make them as crisp as possible. That's going to help it feel like she's actually against the background as opposed to photoshopped in front of it and then clone stamped to kind of hide things, okay? So those are the things I would work on. Type, and then making sure you're hitting all the minimum requirements and getting this portion looking really crisp and clean. All right? Let me know if you have any questions. You're headed in the right direction, and I think those things will take your ad to the next level. Thanks, Lisa.